Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good day. So today I will share with you how to use a diagram tool such as Draw.io in order to draw your UML diagram. Now we focus on analysis stage, right? So we have use case diagram here, domain model, activity diagram. For use case diagram, assume that you have two use cases drawn here with two actors. This is for the system, the example that I give you, current system or CRS. Assume you want to add more use case, so you just click this, and then let's say this use case is for the customer, so you link to the customer. Okay, so you can adjust this accordingly. So then you have customer, for example, make payment. So remember, the use case should be verb plus noun. So you don't start with noun, okay? But it should be verb plus noun. Okay. So now you have the three use cases. Now we need to link this to the customer, but we don't want this arrow, so it should show here. So this you change over here to none, then you don't have arrow here, so you don't need the text. Okay, so now you have the you have three use cases. So remember, this is one use case diagram, but now we have two actors. We have staff and customer. You adjust nicely. This one. Okay, so let's say you have over here and you have the staff to manage the car. Okay, so now you can see that there are two actors for this example, car rental system. And always remember, you have many verb plus noun notation. Okay, now the next stage about CRS, about your system, is that because we talk about object-oriented paradigm in when we do the analysis and design using UML. So now we have to think about the object. Okay, you just click this. Okay, so here you must take note that what are the objects that should be in the system. So, for example, I start with staff, because I need to keep track the record of the staff that should be in the system. Then I need, of course, I need the car to be recorded, isn't it? So that is because it's about managing the car. So I need the car object, and then I need the customer. Yeah, I need to keep track who are the customers in the system. And of course, this is what we call association class, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 classes so far, because we have many to many, so we need to add this rental as the association class, so that we have one to many, so it's normalized. Okay? So in analysis stage, you already have to think about this normalization, where we cannot have many to many, but come out with the association class in order to keep track. In this example, we keep track the rental of the car rented by the customer. And of course, when you add this, let's say how you do it in Draw.io, for example, or whatever the diagramming tool you use is okay, so long you do the diagrams correctly and as what expected. So here you have UML in Draw.io. Okay, so if you add like this, okay, because we're talking about domain class, so we don't want this part, right, the operation. So you just delete first this operation. Okay, so this is how I come up with like this. Okay, so we have the class name and the attributes. So at the early stage of your analysis, you don't need to come up with the type, field type yet. So what are the attributes? You just list like this. Okay, so now I should add what? Payment. Okay, I add payment just now. So now normally when we make payment, what should we keep? For example, invoice number, right? Okay. So when you make payment based on the invoice generate, so of course you need to keep what? You need to keep the date, right? Date of payment, and then amount paid. Yeah. Okay. Invoice number, date of. Let's say I have 3 first. Okay. So now I move it. Sorry. I move it over here so that it's closer to the customer, because who make the payment? The customer. So I just add the relation from this customer to payment. Okay. So if you see here, you see the arrow. So you just bring here, then you get the connection, the relation of the customer with the payment accordingly. So you can adjust so that you have a good diagram over here. Okay. So you have to get familiar, then only you can come up with a good diagram. Okay. So here let's say the rental here, so the payment here. So customer make payment, right? So customer make payment. So you can add the connection here in terms of so you double click here. So you can say here make. So customer make payment. So just it. Okay. So you can save into the this one. So you can adjust later to make this. Even you can change this to, for example, like this. Okay. Now let it be straight so that we can adjust accordingly like this. To have a better diagram, that's what you're supposed to have. Okay. So here, let's see, let's straight line. So you can adjust. So you can see this. You have to get familiar, then it will be easier later for you to come up with a good diagram. Okay. So it's a bit tricky, but that is fine for the first stage. What about the, so okay, just now we talked about use case diagram, work plus noun or current system. Okay, so for this domain model, so you have the noun only, right? The object or the classes in noun form, so staff, car, customer, rental, payment. You don't say make rental over here, like the use case. Okay. So now you can see the cardinality, right? And also the association of the from staff to car, and then customer rent car. Okay. So here we can adjust also the cardinality accordingly. And then for the activity diagram, okay, so assume you have to come up with the activity diagram for the whole system in general. Okay, so you have the here manage car, rent car, and make payment. So assume you have 2 objects. Now in the system there is staff and customer doing the staff doing what? The staff manage car. This is the 2 actors that are kept in the system, recorded in the system, and what do they do? So activity diagram show the activities and the actions accordingly. So when you see the use case diagram is very general, so in activity diagram it can be more detailed like this. So manage car, if not exists, then only you add car, for example. Else, you notify the car exists, then you update the car, either you update the car or you delete the car, and then you should add here not complete, right? Because you need to end somewhere. So you should also add the link. So how should you add the link? You can see the arrow here, so it should be ended here also, and then you can change this to this way so that you can get something like this. Okay, so then you have to show the arrow. So you need the arrow. Okay, you need the text. So you need the arrow. So here you show here, you can see here, in order to show the arrow here, you have to select this one, this side, then the arrow. If on the left to the other side, then this one. Okay. Okay, so this is done. Let's hide this one. So let's say now rent car. Okay, customer rent car. Okay, so here, if available, then only can confirm, right? Else, and terminate, for example, and then available, confirm and make payment, then end. Okay, you can see that this fork and join that we have learned in the module. Okay, so here decision, the diamond shape. So if you add like this, for example, you can see that okay, you can see that the is in red, isn't it? So we fill, so you can just adjust this accordingly through this. So for me, I don't want any fill. I don't want the red. I want it to be black. So draw IO somehow using red. So you can change accordingly like this. Okay. So here it can be in the condition can be stated here, but otherwise we use this like in your slide that because there are a number of ways of doing, although it's the same notation, but there are variations. So it can be put, the condition can be indicate here, and with whatever decision yes or no, for example here, and instead of yes or no, we have not exist and else here, update or delete. So we have shown here, we have 3 decisions using the diamond shape here, and the fork and join, because after adding car only, the rent car can be done by the customer, right? So let's say I'm this one. So you have this activity diagram. What about this swim lane? So you have to add this by looking for the here. So you can add this one. You can see here we have the lane there to be added. Okay. So this is because when you add this page, it's called page, right, in Draw.io. So you probably don't see the lane in UML, right? Okay, so if you don't see any, you have to know the name of the notation. So for example, this one is called lane. So if it's not available, you go up there and do the search, then you can use like this one and add to show the swim lane. So the swim lane is important to divide the activities, action accordingly, following who are the actors involved in the system. Okay, so there is also some variation where you can see that some activity diagram showing another swim lane, that is the system. That is another way, but if let's say you just focus on the objects involved in that particular system, that is we have staff object and the customer object, staff, sorry, it should be actors. So we can actually show the two only.